I'd learn the lines and all my lyrics. Sometimes I'd have my lyrics with me when I'm rapping or when I'm singing, and I don't want to learn them too well. Yeah, because if I learn them too well, it doesn't get the best performance. Yeah,
you've got this bit of your passion that it's
yeah.
quite passionate when you're writing it, and then if you just zero in on the words, you kind of forget the feeling.
It's not natural. It's not as natural as it was going to be.
No. Yeah. So you want to keep the same energy, the same emotion you got when you're written the song, and then put it in the delivery as well.
So, what stage were you guys when you were performing those? Because
where it started to feel natural.
Where it started to feel natural. Where were you when we actually, all the scenes that you saw being recorded? Where were you in terms of knowing lines and?
I think it's quite convenient that you say that. As a director, you didn't really give us much chance to rehearse, so we kind of Skype. It was kind of by default that we couldn't know our lines perfectly.
I did have an upper hand. I was just really lazy. I had the script since April, and I was told.
That's true.
I wasn't asked. I was told.
We had yeah. So you can say no.
And I was really lazy, as I mentioned earlier. I was quite lazy and just thought that my lines could be fed to me as we were recording.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
I think it was about a good 2 months, but there wasn't much rehearsal going on during that period of time until we started doing the Skype.
There were certain sections that did break down for me because there was quite a lot of script. If I'd have had more time to learn those, then I could have delivered a more convincing thing. But I haven't seen myself.
Well,
I don't know how that's come off, but I know in my mind that's how I felt at the time.
Social media, social networking, messenger, telephone, pen and paper, I suppose.
Communicate through pen and paper.
Yeah. Occasionally I still pick up a pen and paper. Usually for school because I have to write a lot of letters for my daughter. Which she has various times out of school where she has to go for various appointments. So I do tend to write a letter. I use social networking rather than. I do.
How do you feel about it not being so face to face and visual?
I don't think it's always perceived in the way that you want it to. Rather than walking up to somebody in the street and saying, "Well, hey, did you know?" and you write it down, it can be perceived by that person different from what if you write it to them through a text message. Again, I think, just taking on feelings and emotions that I felt in the past, that I've used in the past, reactions that I've had in the past, being able to put them into my body language, my facial expression, without actually opening my mouth.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always open to kind of anything that comes up. I've done a few things in the past, adverts and documentaries in the past. And I've worked along with some great people, and being here locally, working along with you guys, has been great. I've made some great friends out of it. And if anything comes up in the future, then give me a shout.
Yes, it has its good points. And then you can get something across the other side of the world in seconds. Whereas, a few years back, and something I always remember as being a child, my dad was in the Royal Air Force, and he would travel around the world and always getting this big blue airmail letter come through our front door, and sitting there with my mum, because he would be in somewhere like the Falkland Islands or something where, trying to use a phone was a bit of a nightmare because there was no signals because you were a little island surrounded by penguins or whatever. But yeah, you go on social networking sites now, or you go on to the internet now, you can have something in America within seconds. I always think, with my friends and with my family that I perhaps don't see as often as I'd like. Even if I go away on holiday, sometimes it feels like I've got all my friends with me anyway, because you just click on Facebook and there they are. There's no escape no more. in some ways, and sometimes, you know, I've gone away and I've turned my phone off and I've said, right, you know, I'll put that there.
What would make you do that?
Just, I don't know, it's like the little house or the island, isn't it? Just going and to that house or that island for a week, or and not having any communication. I was watching something the other day actually with a guy, and he had no TV, he had no radio, he had no phone, he had no communication with the outside. And I thought to myself, well, I'd love to do that, just to see if I could cope, just to, you know, put me in that situation and see if I could we cope? Could I cope? Could I cope? You know,
like a little test for you.
Yeah. You know, how would I? You know, if I went to an island and I could only take 3 things, would it be my family, my dog, and my phone, or would it be actually? You know, let's think family.
So something
friends.
must have happened for you to think I'm too reliant on
Yeah,
this.
I mean, I'm one of these people that loves to be around people.
Yeah.
I don't like to. No, I'm going to rephrase that, because I'll say I didn't always used to like being on my own. If I was at work, I like to be with people. I like to work. I like a group of people. But sometimes even though it might be like, Sam, you know, talk. You can talk. Sometimes I'm quite a good listener. I like to sit back and I listen and I observe, and then I have conversations in my head, and then about 5 minutes later I realise that I've actually not spoken or put my input out there, and everyone's like, but she is still there. She's just over there in that corner.
They say like people buy from people. That's why.
People buy people.
Yeah. That's why I write the characters the way I did, because I wanted them to be people that people can relate to.
Yeah, like an everyday person,
And not perfect people either, people that fuck up, because everyone fucks up.
That's right.
Know? So somebody that fucks up and somebody that isn't, you know, that fits into a mould has got an alright, you know, that has something shit happen to them. And they think, you know what, that hasn't happened to me, but I know if that happened to me, I probably feel like that.